We're on page 10 of the Texas Principles book. And as I was reading through it, I'm reading through and highlighting what I believe is something that they can ask you on your final exam in this book. I will go through the questions after each chapter and tell you why and anything that I think about it. And make sure that you're moving forward in your principles book in Texas. I would say that this school has some of the best deals and they have the best support. And again, so I don't make any money advertising for them, but I will tell you, when I find a good school that's helping somebody in a particular state, I'm going to definitely make sure you know which it is. And you can pretty much read through the classes on your own. But what I'm doing is I'm going through each page and pulling out what I think might be on your exam and then going over the questions and answers with you. Good morning. Thank you for joining. So the one for Texas that I absolutely love is the Real Estate Business School. So not only do they want to help you get your license, they want to help you succeed in your license. And it's AKA, also known as Austin Institute of Texas. I'm going to throw out their phone number once again. It's 512-453-0900. So it's 512-453-0900. And they have info at buildmyrebusiness.com. And that website's phenomenal. So where I am now is I am on page 10 going through the highlights, and there was some really good information on it. Gonna have to wear my glasses while I'm teaching because that's just how it is. So the top of the page talks about the real estate market. I was reading, of course, I'm going to get phone calls while I'm trying to record. It's just how it is when you go live. You can't block people, because if you block people, then it doesn't go live and all that really great stuff. So the real estate market, that's what they're talking about at the beginning, top of page 10. So the real estate market, characteristics of real estate. Collectively and overall, real estate market refers to a pool of potential buyers and sellers. So you're always out there trying to meet buyers and sellers at any given time, really. And what I do when I want to try to meet buyers and sellers is I get my butt out of my house. So get your butt out of your house. I know some of you are just now learning, and some of you might have even already got your license and you're wanting to see what I'm saying about Texas. And I will say the best way to meet people is go to your community events and make a decision where you want to sell real estate. Because if you don't know where you're going to want to sell real estate, then you're not going to be building relationships in the market that you want to be in. So make sure you get involved in the community and where you want to start meeting people so that you can start building relationships before or while you already have your real estate license. But also national trends seem to go ahead and hit up and affect everything that we do, because you never know what's going to change in the economy or what's going to change with the interest rates, and it's going to affect us because we're always affected in the real estate business. So national trends affect local real estate markets through policy changes, employment trends, and overall expansions or contractions of national economy. An example is the mortgage interest rate. So a lot of people really freak out when the rates change. And although, I mean, I got to tell you, I've been in real estate as an investor since 1979 and purchasing real estate actually all over the country. I did own a duplex in Texas, but we won't talk about the property manager I had, because she was the detriment to my investment. And you really got to be careful with who you pick. Unfortunately, she was referred to me, and I was in California and she was in Texas. It was actually, by the way, Sherman, Texas. And Sherman, Texas, when I purchased there, was one of the most affordable places that you could buy in the United States. So you might want to look at Sherman, Texas and see how it's doing. So I had a duplex there, and if one side wasn't rented out, the other side was rented out, but hopefully you have the whole thing rented out all the time. But it's talking about the market and the interest rates. And like I was going to say, I've been in real estate forever. It seems like 40 years plus. And the market does this. So don't let it get you down when you're down and it's down. Because you know what, you guys, interest rates change. They go up and down, but it should not stop you from buying real estate. Hi, thank you for joining. And the reason I say that is because, look, I don't know what people don't know about this, but I'm going to tell you, I don't know why they don't know this, but your interest and your property taxes are a tax deduction. when you're doing your federal taxes and your state taxes. Now I'm in California and I know California state taxes. You're in Texas. You need to believe it or not, in the real estate business, you need to know what's going on in your politics and in your taxes, because that way you can help not only people in Texas or in the state you're in, but you can also help investors make decisions if they want to invest. And I got to tell you a little story about Texas. How about that? So what happened with me was I was looking to buy property in Texas, and I went there because I wanted to see what I could find. And I went to 5 real estate offices in Texas. So if you're in Texas, this is what you need to understand. People are going to come from other states. We don't know how much your property taxes are. We don't know how much your state taxes are. We don't know your rules and regulations for landlord-tenant laws. And that's why some people don't buy in other states, because they don't know. In California, we have some really strict landlord-tenant laws. And I think that a lot of investors here in California are going to sell their investment properties and invest somewhere else. For instance, my attorney for the Association of Realtors that I'm in, he sold all his investments in California. He sold his house in California, and he went to Tennessee. And, look and think about the real estate agent that got his business. She got 5 or 6 properties in California and 4 or 5 properties in Tennessee. Or she got a referral fee from who maybe he referred it to. So it's all about doing business and keeping your relationships and referring them out. Because if I'm in California and I have a good real estate agent in Texas that I know knows how to help an investor or somebody that's moving to Texas learn about Texas, then I'm going to send them to that person. And this is what happened to me. I went to Texas. I didn't know anybody. And I went to 5 real estate offices. And I said, look, I'm from California. I don't know if I'm going to move here or not, but I'm definitely going to invest here. Hi there. How you doing? And it's been a while, hasn't it? So I'm talking about Texas and just investing in other states too. And right now in the book I'm in Texas, they're talking about the market. Well, you need to know the market, and you need to know the politics and the taxes. And if you don't think real estate agents are involved in politics, you're on there's a whole new story for you, because we're not red. We're not blue. We're the purple solution. And we're helping people move, buy houses, and invest, and sell houses, and whatever you need to do with real estate. So I was talking about the interest rate, and I was talking about going to Texas. And I just literally called or went to the office, and I said, look, like I said, I'm from California. I'm looking to invest or possibly move to Texas. I need to talk to a realtor. I can't believe my phone. It's Monday and my phone's going to go crazy. So sorry for the interruptions, but we'll just keep moving, because that's what we got to do. Keep moving. So basically what happened is I left literally 4 people in the last, 3 minutes have been trying to call me. So this is going to be a short one, but I'm going to keep moving forward with helping you guys get your Texas license. And so what I felt was, I left messages, I called, I went to offices in Texas, and I said, this is what I'm doing. Not one phone call back. Not one. And when I go to the classes that I go to and learn about how to be a successful real estate agent, guess what the number one thing is? The number one thing that people have problems with their realtor all over the country is you don't call back. Yes, it may be a bogus referral. Who cares? Call back. If you call back, you never know if you're going to get a deal, and it's going to be a great deal or a bad deal. I remember one time I got a call, and the guy said he wanted to buy in Newport Beach. And his daughters, either his daughter or son lived in Orange County, and his other daughter or son lived in San Diego, and he wanted to come from Northern California and get something in Newport Beach. And he said he wanted to spend 2 or 3, and he didn't say 2 or 300. He didn't say 2 or 3,000. He didn't say 2 or 3 million. He didn't say. And as I talked to him, I really didn't know if it was a real buyer or not. So I really didn't put my all out. And so I learned from that, because it kind of was a mistake, but the mistake taught me a lesson, and I did sell him a house. It was $4.5 million. So return your phone calls. Now, it doesn't matter if the interest rates are high or low, because guess what? The smart investors who know that you buy something and you have a high interest rate, or you get an adjustable rate mortgage, and then what you're going to do is, when the market gets better, you're just going to refinance it and get the perfect loan and keep that loan for the rest of the time. Don't keep refinancing it, because every time you refinance, you put yourself 10 steps back, because what you do is you start paying the bank interest again. So remember, all you people that are watching it, I want to make sure that you know, I want your thumbs up, I want you to subscribe, and I want you to share the videos, because I'm going to give you gold nuggets and great information about real estate investing, whether you're in California, Texas, North Carolina, wherever you are, because we're going to talk about different states constantly. But right now I'm focusing on Texas. And if you watch my other videos, they're mostly California. So what we're talking about right now is the market. And it goes into when interest rates are high, demand for mortgages decreases. Well, if interest rates are high, there's other types of loans out there, you guys. There's a 3-1 arm. Okay, for 3 years it's fixed. There's a 5-1 arm if you're going to keep the property for 5 years. For 5 years, it's fixed, and then it rolls into an adjustable. And the lower the term, the lower the interest rate. So you have to talk to a loan officer who knows what they're doing to get you the lowest rate while rates are high. And then once the rates simmer down, you can refinance and get a better interest rate. And sometimes you can even just call your bank, the bank that you're working with, and talk to them about modifications, or if there's anything that they can do internally. Because I hate to say something great about Wells Fargo, but I will tell you, it says, what about HELOCs? Ooh, good question. That's a good one, Maria. So I hate to give people free advertisement, but on the HELOC, I know you're in California, there's a place called Golden One Credit Union. I just gave them a big pump. Golden One Credit Union they got the notoriety of having the best HELOC right now. So they have the best HELOC, and all you have to do to join their credit union is open a small checking account or savings account. So try them out. And then I've been talking to somebody about a stated HELOC. A stated HELOC means you don't have to prove your income. So that was just to answer Maria. But whether you're in Texas, California, wherever you're at, the interest rates do change constantly. And if you're a real estate agent and all you do is worry about the interest rates and don't teach your borrower, you're very welcome. And don't teach your borrower about, hey, look, you know what? Don't get a 30-year fixed rate loan. We're in America, we're brainwashed to think the 30-year fixed rate loan is the best thing out there, and it's not. And it's not, because are you really going to keep that house for 30 years? If you're like me, I'm an investor, I'm going to look for the best 30-year fixed rate loan I can get. Okay. Now, if it's a bad market and I just want to buy a house, I'm going to buy the house with the best program I could get with the lowest rate that's short term. Because then what I'll do is when the rates come back, I'll refinance it for the long term and leave it alone. Okay. So, and you can take HELOCs out on your properties, which are home equity lines of credit. And if you qualify to take one out, you can take one out and use the money from one property to buy another property. And so the market constantly changes. And that's what this paragraph says. And it's just a short paragraph talking about when interest rates are high, demand for mortgages decrease. When interest rates are low, mortgages become more affordable. And the number of consumers that can qualify and afford to purchase a home increases. So one of the things I want to mention is there's, like I said, different types of loans for everybody. There's a loan that is out here, and I know if it's out here, it's probably everywhere because Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are national. And if you're looking to buy investment property and you have 25% down, what you can do is if the rent is $1, or as long as the rent is more, as long as the rent is more than what the payment's going to be. So let's say your payment's going to be $3,500 a month, and you end up renting it out for $3,501. Well, because your payment's more than what the payment is, the house will qualify. You don't have to qualify. So the market changes constantly, but you have to be up on that, and you have to have a great team that works with you to make sure that you're current on what's happening. So the next paragraph on page 10 talks about the Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve may increase or decrease the federal funds rate. So when you're hearing it on the news, they're talking about the federal funds rate, okay? This trickles down to home buyers who are needing to get a mortgage to purchase a home in the form of higher or lower interest rates on their mortgage. This also affects the cost of borrowing those funds. So when you're borrowing money, it's going to be affected by the federal funds rate. So for buildings, apartments, communities, and buying single family homes and investments, interest rates are just one of the many factors that you have to consider when you're buying a home. Now, if you have cash, you can always pay cash, and then you can get that money back by refinancing and taking the cash out. The other thing that you have to be aware of is that they're looking to help home buyers constantly, and there is different committees working with different people like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to try to look at programs that can help first-time home buyers buy. So local economic trends also affect supply and demand in real estate. So if a city decides to revitalize an area or approve a large community park to a neighborhood, there's going to be workers going on. I remember when I was flipping a house in Studio City, and we were right at Laurel Canyon, and those people that are in Studio City or LA know that when Laurel Canyon was being redone, it really affected us in a bad way. And we didn't know it was going to be done. And as an investor, that was one of the first investment properties I flipped. And I should have looked up the city. I should have known that they were going to be pounding on the road right by my house. But you know what? I still made money off the house, right? I bought it for we bought it for $665 and we sold it for 1.178 was the purchase price that I got. Now, there's different investors. When I work with flipping a house, I usually have an investor or two, and we have to agree to agree. How about that? So your local economics are going to affect your price, because if they weren't pounding on the ground and working on that street while we were trying to sell the house, we probably would have got more for the property, but we still made a good profit. If you're wondering how much we put into it, I think we put in about $70,000. So we did make a good profit on that property. So just keep reading along. What I want you to do is read forward in this book. If you're working on the Texas and your Texas principles class, read forward. I would definitely go with these books because they're easy to read. If you have questions, highlight them and put them in my comments. And then what I'll do is I'll look at what your questions are and I'll explain it to you in easy terms, because there's one paragraph in here that I'm like, I don't even know why it's in there, and I don't know how important it is, but every word in the paragraph, I'm like, I'm gonna have to look up these words. It's kind of crazy. So we only got through a couple paragraphs, but I think I gave you some great gold nuggets. I'm having a problem talking today. And we'll slow it down a little bit and we'll get through the paragraphs. And like I said, if you want to go ahead of me, and go ahead and in the comments, if you need help on something, I'm here to help you, because I want you to pass your exams and get your real estate license, whatever state you're in. So like I said, comment, thumbs up, let me know if you have any questions. I'm here for you if you're learning how to do real estate, buy, sell, invest, be a realtor, be a broker, or a loan officer. Thank you for watching, and I'm sorry about at the end of my videos, I don't have a little clicker, and I'm working like I'm not technically great, okay, but my information is. So hopefully you watch, and we'll see you soon in the next class. Bye. And then when I try to shut it off, it doesn't shut off. It's just one of those things.